Alright boys, what's happening? Welcome back to the final episode of Season 3 of the F1 2021 My Team series here on the channel. And to close out the season, we have the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at the Jeddah Street Circuit. This will actually be my first ever time racing around this circuit. If you have not seen the video on my channel where we did a little track guide to this circuit when it did come out, make sure you check that one out. It got like 12,000 views, something crazy like that. One of the most viewed videos of all time. So yeah, make sure you check that out. If you have not seen the previous video in the My Team series, make sure you check that one out because the season is pretty much over. Max Verstappen secured the driver's standing title and Red Bull secured the constructors title, but it is still also played for the P3 spot in the drivers championship, which is what I want to get for bragging rights. So can we go ahead and do that? Of course, our teammate Michael Schumacher, who you can see on the screen right now, he secured P2 in the Drivers' Championship. Nobody can beat him to that. But his contract does expire in 11 days, so we will have to discuss that later on in the video, boys. Discuss whether to re-sign Michael to a new contract, or should we look at somebody else? We still have not won a Drivers' or a Constructors' title in 3 seasons here on the series, so who can we get in that second seat to help us towards that Constructors' title? Who knows? We'll have to discuss that later. But let's get into qualifying. Like I say, my first ever time racing around this circuit. So we'll have to see if we can put a decent quality lap together and then get a good start in the race. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? I jumped into practice, did a few little practice laps. Tried to get something going. Just tried to get myself acclimatised to the track. We're breaking up the 100 metre board there into turn 1, taking a lot of the curb, avoiding all of the curb through turn 2, pushing the car as wide as possible. On the exit up to the wall there, you see we're down the delta, braking just before the 50 metre board, taking all of the curb on entry there as well. And now we are up in the delta. We've made up a lot of time through there. Massive snap of oversteer, but we managed to catch it just in time before we skid off into the wall there. But we're still up in the delta, even though we had that massive moment there. We had to completely come off the throttle and catch the car. You know, we're still up in the delta and it's purple. Here we go down the back end of the track now. It's pretty much a straight, but there's a lot of like little turns here and there, as you can see. There's one where we understeer a little bit, getting caught in the dirty air from Pierre Gasly in front. But like I say, it is pretty much a straight. We are tucked into that slipstream from Pierre Gasly, and hopefully he can guide us to a heavy lap here, braking down to 5th gear. Very fast section there, very fast section. So easy to put it in the wall. Asks Charles Leclerc. I think it was Leclerc put it in the wall in real life. We get the slipstream of Gasly though, and DRS. Gasly charging his battery, he gets out of the way. I was going to say nicely, but not really nicely. He nearly pushes into the wall, even though he's on an outlap. Speaking of the wall, we go into the wall there. Luckily, it wasn't a Max Verstappen, and we didn't lose a wheel in the wall. But we take a bit of the front wing off, but because I knew the finish line was right there, I didn't care. We go ahead and cross the line and put ourselves in P2. And then yeah, so I've completely skipped the the standings, but we finished P2 in Q1, so we're through to Q2, which is what we're in now. The editing is all over the place in this video. What was I thinking? Anyway, yeah, so we're on the medium tyres in Q2. We've just set the fastest sector 1 out of anyone. There is also a yellow flag down in sector 1, so I wonder what that is about. Yeah, that is bizarre. Anyway, yeah, we're back to our lap. You can see here the very fast section again, down to 6th gear, stomping the throttle as we spin left, pushing it as close to the wall as possible. You can see the yellow flag there. It's one of the McLarens going through it, but there's nothing seems to be the issue. The McLaren of Lando, you can see the yellow flag there, but there's nothing on the track. There's nothing happening to Lando's car. I don't really know what the flag came from. Maybe it was just an error from Michael Massey. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, like I say, back to our lap. One of my favourite corners of this track coming up very shortly, and here it is now. Just a slam of the brakes down to 6th gear and then just jumping on the throttle again to push the car through this section right up against the wall. It's so fun to drive this, boys, especially now that I do have wheel and pedals. It is so fun to drive this track, in my opinion. I don't normally like street circuits as well, especially on wheel and pedals. I find Baku on wheel and pedals quite hard. Monaco is just ridiculous anyway. But I did really enjoy this. We tried to follow Esteban Ocon to get a slipstream there. Almost followed them into the pits, which would have been a stinker. But that puts us that lap in P2, just behind Max Verstappen by 1/10. So I think, yeah, that's a great lap. That'll be enough to get us through to Q3. And I don't go again in that session. And it just about is. We get through to Q3 in P9. Me and Max Verstappen, the only cars on medium tyres. Everyone else on the softs. Everyone else starting the race on the soft tyres. So me and Max will be on the same strategy, apart from everyone else. Carlos Sainz disqualified from the session. He got a warning for crossing the pit lane, exit white line, and he also got disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. No idea what happened there. I did not see that, get mentioned anywhere, so that is crazy. But yeah, Carlos Sainz out of the session in P15, or P16 I should say, which allows someone like Fernando Alonso to get through to the top 10 shootout and into Q3 for the first time in a long time. We're seeing an Alpine in Q3. Let's get to our Q3 session now. As it stands, we have not set a banker lap yet. Can we set a decent banker to start off this session? We've got a lot of sets of soft tyres here, boys, because we didn't use any softs in Q2. So we have a lot of chances to go for completely fresh tyres to set a decent lap through here. And through this technical section here, we've got the Alpine of Fernando Alonso in front of us. Hopefully we don't lose the car. And there's a bit of like wobble and oversteer, yeah. And then we end up exceeding track limits. Just is so hard to follow another car through that section. But we're going to send it up the inside of Alonso in this banked corner. It looks like a race. We bumped the wall there. I don't know if we took any damage off that. We just completely drove into the wall. But yeah, we're still 7 tenths up in the delta. Crazy. Purple sector 1. And we're chasing down Alonso, who is on an outlap. You can see his battery light flashing. Why is Alonso racing me? I'm on a push lap, and he's racing me. Look at that, he pushed me into the wall again. Get out the way, bro. Like, Codemasters need to sort out the AI on this game, bro. Like, you can clearly see he's on an outlap, charging his battery. I'm pushing as hard as I can behind him, and he's just pushed me into the wall twice. Like, it's actually ridiculous how this game works. I know it happens in real life where people get caught up on push laps and out laps and end up running into each other, but not like that. Alonso was racing me, bro. Alonso was actually racing me. We're going to cross the line now. 5 tenths quicker than our previous lap, puts us P6, return to the garage to go again, and we need to push again. You can see we've just crossed the line to start this next lap with 16 seconds left in the session, currently sat in P6. We're going to have to improve here if we want to set a better result than that in this qualifying session. Coming through the technical section now, 6th gear, 7th gear, pushing the car as hard as we can, down to 6th gear, and the back end steps out. Oh, we're into the wall, and there's air time. That's a huge crash. That is a massive crash. Just completely lost the rear end there. Huge moment of oversteer. I wasn't able to catch it. Check out the replay there. I threw the car through that corner. The tyres just had no grip. Like I say, the tyres get so hot through that section, and there goes the back end into the wall, crunch the front wing, crunch the front right tyre, and then skid off the track. Yeah, big impact there. That's going to put us out of the qualifying session. You know, boys, it is what it is. I wasn't really bothered. It was Q3. We'd already set a decent, okay lap. Well, not decent, it was okay. Put us P8 on the grid to start the race. But yeah, like I say, just a shame that we crash out there, but I was pushing as hard as possible. Sometimes these things happen, you know, when you're pushing as hard as you can, especially at a street circuit. Ask Charles Leclerc in Monaco. Yeah, it is what it is. Let's get to the race, see if there's any grid penalties, final race of the season, see where we will start on the grid, and see what we can do in the actual race.
So here we are then, welcoming you today to one of the jewels of the Arab world, Jeddah. One of the biggest cities in Saudi Arabia, second only to Riyadh, gateway to Mecca, and one of the biggest ports in the region. And now, host to the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. An interesting circuit, this one, the newest on the Formula One calendar. And like most street circuits, it's sure to present the drivers with an interesting technical challenge. Some challenging turns for the drivers to negotiate as well. And at the same time, they're going to have to manage their tyres very carefully in this heat. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are 3 main things to worry about there, Crofty. Positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. An immense lap from Michael Schumacher yesterday puts him on pole position, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas, the owner driver, Norris, Perez. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Tsunoda and Mick Schumacher, Russell, Stroll, Charles Leclerc and Fernando Alonso. They've taken a grid penalty. Mazepin, Ocon, Daniel Ticktum and Sebastian Vettel. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Giovinazzi, Sainz, Gasly and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Let's aim for a strong finish to the season.
So, boys, you might have noticed there, in that Q3 session, Lando Norris did put his car on pole, but he starts the race in P7 after a grid penalty. People always take grid penalties in my team at the end of the season. It is very weird and bizarre, but we've seen it over the last 3 seasons. We seem to get bumped up a little. That's going to mean Michael Schumacher is on pole position in Jeddah, and it is lights out and away we go, and Michael gets off to a good start there. The McLaren and Red Bull behind him can't even push him into turn 1. Speaking of pushing into turn 1, we're going to go the inside of Valtteri Bottas there, trying to give as much space as possible. Can we go around the outside of Lewis Hamilton there? No, we can't. But a great move to get in front of Valtteri there off the start on those slower medium tyres as well. And then we're going up the inside of Lewis Hamilton now. Can we come out ahead of the other Mercedes? We can indeed. We're on the slower compound and harder compound of tyre on the medium. Everyone else, apart from Max Verstappen in front of us, everyone else in the top 10 is on those softer, more grippy, soft tyres. So they should theoretically get off to a better start. We've had a great start here. We haven't really had that good of starts in the last few Grand Prix in this series. But in Jeddah here, we're up into P4, chasing down Max Verstappen, who, like I say, will probably be on the same strategy as us, which as it stands, I think we chose medium soft on a one-stop strategy here. The soft tyres I was pushing a little in practice, and I noticed the soft tyre wear was quite high, or the wear was quite high on the soft tyres. So I didn't really want to start the race on the softs. We'll go to them later on in the race. But yeah, can we push these mediums as long as possible? That is going to be the plan. See how long these mediums last for compared to the soft runners around us. They'll obviously have to pit earlier, which should give me and Max a little one-man race, or a little one-on-one race between us, hopefully, to try and push. Now down this back straight, you can see how many cars there are behind us. We've got a train of the 2 Mercedes. We've got Sergio Perez in a Red Bull and Lando Norris in that McLaren. We're just going to get slipstream on each other. Can Hamilton look to make a move up the inside into turn 1? No, he can't. We're through turn 1 and 2 without any threat from behind. But it's only a matter of time, you know, before you get caught in that slipstream, before the end of lap 2 when DRS gets activated. There's 3 DRS zones around Jeddah, if you did not know that. So plenty of opportunities to try and overtake. Coming through the sector now where we put it into the wall in quali, and we get a track limit one, and it didn't look like track limits at all. And it's so, like, I don't like track limits, bro, because, like, right there, I didn't gain an advantage from doing that. Like, come on, like, that was so minimal. I can understand if you completely cut a corner or something like that, or cut the curb, but to get track limit one and something like that, it's annoying, bro, especially if you end up with a penalty for it. Will we end up with a penalty for it? Who knows? Let's find out later in the race. I love this section here where you go underneath that building. That building looks so cool, by the way, the way it's all crisscrossing over each other. Very nice looking area that, you know, this circuit, and you see those lights in the distance on the right hand side, the purple lights. The skyscrapers all light up as well once you get to a certain point in the race, in the darkness. You can see the skyscrapers now. There's a giant thing in the middle with all lights on. There's all the purple buildings on the right. I love it. I love this circuit, bro. But there goes Lewis Hamilton, like I was saying. He's got that slipstream and he's got DRS open. Down to turn 1. Can we try and get the switch back up the inside into turn 1? We have a little look, but we can't get it. We're going to stay behind Lewis for the time being. Giant moments there as you've just seen our car, the rear end stepping out there. We're going to stay behind Lewis. There's, like I say, it's a tough one to overtake round here, especially during the lap. Through sector 2, it's very technical and it's very difficult to try and overtake through there. But you know, coming towards the back end of the lap, we have 2 DRS zones. It's so just easy to overtake in terms of you know, just getting DRS and getting past, bro. Especially if you've got good straight line speed like our car does. coming around the banked corner there. Yeah, I think we have the best straight line speed on the grid probably, because our car is the most upgraded. We don't actually have the most engine power, which we'll have to discuss for next season as well. That's another thing with the teammate. We have to discuss the engine. What engine supplier should we get? Ferrari have let us down this season. I really wanted to win a title with a Ferrari engine in the car, but Ferrari, bro, we had 3 DNFs this year. It's not good enough. But speaking of following cars, you can see we are still right on the gearbox of Hamilton. Very close. Trying to eye up that move. There's the DRS wing open. Can we get a move going now? Around the outside, into the final turn. We let Hamilton stay ahead because we know there is another DRS zone coming up down this back straight, and we would be a sitting duck if we did pass Hamilton there. So we're going to jump in his slipstream, activate that DRS, activate our battery, down to turn 1. This should be a very easy overtake, hopefully, and it is indeed. We get in front just into the braking zone, and we're back up into P4. Now the gap to Max Verstappen, 1.3 seconds ahead. Can we try and chase down Verstappen? That is a guy we need to try and make up some time on. Like I say, we're on the same strategy, or we should be. So hopefully, you know, we can catch Verstappen and, you know, end up in that DRS range is what I'm trying to say, bro. I got a lost train of thought there, but yeah, he's 1.4 seconds ahead. We go purple through sector 1 though. We've definitely got some pace around Jeddah. I didn't know, like I say, it was my first time racing around this circuit. I didn't know how good the AI were going to be. You know, the AI are notoriously powerful on some races on this game. Silverstone especially, ridiculous at Silverstone. But yeah, I didn't know how they were going to be around here. I know a lot of people complain about Imola as well. People complained about all the new tracks, Portimao, Imola, saying that the AI were too powerful. But, you know, I mean, if you saw our races this year in Imola and in Portimao, well, if you saw the 7-lap race in Imola before the engine blew up, yeah, I don't think the AI was that OP. And our Portimao race is one of my best races I've ever done on the My Team series. That's probably the race of the season for me looking back now. I do really enjoy that Portimao race. It was very fun indeed. But yeah, back to Jeddah, back to the present day. We do need to finish a significant amount of points ahead of Sergio Perez in this race to finish in P3 in the constructors, or in the drivers standing, sorry. In the constructors, we have secured P2. I think it's Mercedes behind us in the constructors. They can't catch us now, so we've secured P2 in the constructors. We're going to get a lot of money for that for the next season, which is making me think, do we just upgrade our personnel department, which upgrades our second driver stats? Do we upgrade that fully and get Nikita Mazepin in the second seat, because he'll be 99 rated anyway if we upgrade our personnel thing? But yeah, no, we're not getting Mazepin. I'm never in a million years going to get Nikita Mazepin as a teammate. Should we get Dan Ticktum? Should we have the Dan Ticktum redemption arc, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man redemption arc? Dan Ticktum comes back, and I'm not going to spoil Spider-Man if you haven't seen it, but I just basically already have. But through turn 1 and turn 2, there goes Lewis Hamilton trying to make a move again, and we are in front in P4. Lewis Hamilton stays behind. Like I say, boys, it is very difficult to try and defend that down into turn 1 because the straight's so long and they've got DRS, huge slipstream all the way down into turn 1. Like, you are just a sitting duck. You can't do much to defend against that, you know. Apologies if you heard any noise in the background there. That was the postman. Yeah, so here is a replay of that. I think that's a replay, and we're going to send it down the inside. Here is that move. We do very well to avoid contact there with Lewis. Push him off the track a little. He goes over that curb on turn 2, which you don't really want to be going over. But then the gap to Verstappen ended up being 2 seconds, and you can see now it's 1.7 still. I don't know how it's 1.7. He's right there in front of us, bro. Yeah, now down to 1.2. That must have just been a visual glitch. I was like, how is that 1.7 seconds ahead, bro? He's literally in touching range. But you can see now the gap is only 1 second. Verstappen going slow, or we're just going fast. Who knows what it is? I'm going to say it's us going fast. You know, you've got to back yourself. But can we get close that range to Verstappen? Purple through sector 1 again for us. Absolutely flying into the banked left-hander. Very nice corner. Yuki Tsunoda did a great overtake in real life on Charles Leclerc, I think it was, in the Jeddah Grand Prix in real life this last season. Bro, what you call it? This season, last season, 2021. Yeah, I keep forgetting it's a new year, bro. But yeah, Jeff suggests a new strategy. It's like, Jeff, get out my face, bro. I know what I'm doing. Stop suggesting me. Oh yeah, hey, I've got a genius idea. Pit 1 lap later. Like, shut up, lad. Let me race in it. Like, stop going on at me. But yeah, we're chasing down Verstappen. Now we are in DRS range. You see the pace that we've got here. Completely pushing as hard as we can. Showing great pace. Pierre Gasly potential teammate for next season. He's definitely on the shortlist. He's out of the session. He's had a stinker of a season. That AlphaTauri has not been competitive whatsoever. Should we bring Pierre Gasly into the Sasuke Racing team and try and get Gasly a world championship? One of my favourite drivers in real life. We'll discuss the other drivers later on in the video, later on in the episode. It's quite a long one if you haven't noticed already, because we do have to discuss some stuff for the next season. But there we go, fastest lap of the race. Look at that, purple sector 1 and sector 3. Now down into turn 1, we have a little look up the inside, but we're not going to do it. There's a lot of smoke coming through there. Daniel Ricciardo and Michael Schumacher fighting each other for that P1 and P2 spot. One of them must have had a giant lock up into turn 1, because me and Max have just drove through a cloud of smoke. I almost went into the back of Max as well through turn 1, 2 there. But we're still behind Verstappen. We're going to have DRS though if we can stick within this less than 1 second range, like I did mention before. And again, there we go, DRS. We can still see P1 and P2 in front, Michael and Daniel Ricciardo. I thought those guys would have been clear in the distance, but it seems like they've been fighting each other a lot into turn 1 every single lap. So that's holding each other up by a good second every lap. Just that one, overtaking opportunity there. Speaking of overtaking opportunities, I was going to say something crazy then. Overtaking opportunities, here we go with nice helicopter shot of us following Max Verstappen. How close can we get to Verstappen before he brake checks us here in Jeddah? That would not be fun if he did that. But how close can we get? You can see just ahead in front. Like I say, I thought Ricciardo and Schumacher would have been flying off into the distance. We stay behind Verstappen again now, because obviously this next DRS zone coming up down the straight, and this one should be an easy overtake. We went purple through sector 2 there, even though we had a red sector 1 and a red sector 3, so we don't set the fastest lap. Daniel Ricciardo off into the pits though, so that frees up Michael Schumacher, our teammate in P1, to go ahead and set some decent laps. But we're wheel to wheel with Verstappen there. We managed to stay in front. What a move that was, to stay in front and push Verstappen wide there as we come through. Try and chase down now our teammate Michael Schumacher, who is in P1. Of course, this might not be a net P2 at the moment, because Daniel Ricciardo has pit, a few other people have pit, and we have not pit yet, so we'll have to wait and see where we come out once we do pit. Speaking of pits, there goes Michael into the pits, and now Verstappen's going to have DRS slipstream round the outside into turn 1. Can we send it back on the inside? No, we're going to stay behind. I was going to send it up the inside there, but I decided to give him room because it's Max Verstappen. He would not have gave me any room. He would have turned in on me, and that's not shots at Max Verstappen, one of my favourite drivers. Really happy to see him win the driver's title this year. So that's not shots of Verstappen, but on this game he's a bit of a loon. Can we go up the inside here on the final turn of the lap? And we can. What a move that was. Talk about late on the brakes. And Verstappen looked like he had a little wobble there. I wonder if he went into the wall like he did in qualifying at that exact corner, and Verstappen dives into the pits on lap 12 of 25. Let's see if Verstappen's on board. We go up the inside there, completely clean overtake, and Verstappen just drives into the wall. I don't know what he's thinking there, boys. We were clear, we were past, there was no contact between us, and that was a great overtake from me to go very late on the brakes there and send it up the inside. I don't normally go for that move like you've seen in previous laps. I was just letting the cars go round that corner and then getting them on the straight, but I decided for some reason send it, and there goes Max changing his front wing, so he must have actually picked up front wing damage there, and that is absolutely humongous for this race, boys. Max Verstappen is going to be a pit stop behind, but also a front wing pit stop behind. And here we go, a few laps later. I think Max boxed on lap 12, the end of lap 12. We just come in at the end of lap 15 to get our new soft tyres. They were actually used, I don't know why, because I had 3 sets of soft tyres left over from quali that I didn't use, so they were completely brand new fresh, but these were a used set, so I don't know why that was. But anyway, we come out to the pits. Where are we going to come out? We're going to be ahead of Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez battling through turn 1, 2 there, but we come out right in the middle of them. A great pit stop from the lads to bring us out in this position. Now, can we chase down Sergio Perez and try and get past Perez? I don't know what strategy Perez is running, but can we try and get past the man in the Red Bull on these new soft tyres? Obviously not brand new. I don't know why they're not brand new, because they should have been. But Perez there on the slower mediums. Like I say, we are running the alternate strategy. Daniel Ricciardo on medium tyres. Michael Schumacher in P1 still. also on medium tyres, but we're on these new softs. Can we push and set some laps? We've already got the fastest lap of the race in the back at the moment from what we set on our medium tyres. We've definitely got pace around here. Blue flag's going to help us out a little bit there as Latifi gets out the way. Or is that Giovinazzi maybe? I think that was actually Latifi. But he holds up Perez just a little, and you can see we're right on the gearbox of the Red Bull here, getting that DRS wing open. But Perez also has DRS open for Ricciardo in front. Can we go round the outside, round the inside, into the final turn here? It's going to be wheel to wheel with Sergio Perez, who's going to have the better traction. It's us up the inside on those softer tyres, and we're going to have to run on Daniel Ricciardo now down this main straight. DRS open, using all of our battery charge that we can. Purple sector 2, purple sector 3, down into turn 1, late on the brakes on Daniel Ricciardo. Can we do it? Ricciardo on the hard tyres as well, not the mediums. Through turn 2 there, Ricciardo's in front. We're going around the outside of turn 2, and we are up into P2 in the race, boys. What a move that was on Daniel Ricciardo. An infamous late breaker, the latest of breakers in Formula 1 probably, or at least one of them. But we go even later than Danny Rick through turn 1 there, and we managed to move up into P2. Danny Rick's lost another place now to Sergio Perez, who's currently in P3. I don't know why Ricciardo would ever do a soft hard strategy. That seems a bit weird when everyone else is doing soft medium. I don't know, maybe you have to pit damage or something, I do not know. There's purple sector 1 again now. Our race pace around Jeddah, it was just ridiculous. Like, we were so fast. I was in the zone, just lap after lap, just pushing and just getting quality lap times in here in this race, boys. It was so fun, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know if it's a career mode glitch or if it's just me being a bottle job, but all season, boys, it's felt like my qualifying pace was non-existent, but race pace was absolutely ridiculous, like how fast we were in the races. I don't know if that's a game thing or if it was just me being a bottle job in quali and not being able to set an individual lap, decent enough. Purple sector 2 though, again, speaking of race pace, we're on these soft tyres. We've already got the fastest lap of the race with a 128.8, and we're already on course to beat that, that lap. Let's cross the line, use all our battery to try and set the fastest lap possible. And it goes from a 128.8 to a 127.9. That's nearly a whole second quicker than the fastest lap in the race, just showing how much pace we do actually have. And we've caught our teammate Michael Schumacher, and the gap is 1.7 seconds. That is ridiculous. When we came out to the pits, or when we actually passed Daniel Ricciardo to move up into P2 a few laps ago, the gap to Michael was 5.3 seconds, and now it's 1.5. Just showing the pace of these soft tyres compared to the mediums. Also, look at that. It's going to be Nikita Mazepin and Dan Ticktum in the Haas cars holding up Schumacher there. It looked like Schumacher took a while to get past him, and we've caught up to Michael, and we're now within DRS range of Michael Schumacher, our teammate. If only we had team orders so I could get on the radio to Michael and say, look, get out the way, you know what I mean? I'm the boss. I need to finish with significantly more points than Sergio Perez. Let me finish first in this race and I'll buy you a beer at the end of the season. But sadly we can't do that. You can't do team orders on my team, which is probably something you should look into, for a future Formula 1 game. I might do a video of like a list of things I want in the future Formula 1 games, but I can't really think of anything off the top of my head right now, to be honest, to even think about doing a video like that. But here we go, boys. DRS open, the wing closes into the braking zone. It's wheel to wheel with Michael Schumacher through the final turn. It's going to be wheel to wheel all the way down the main straight. We're on the same car, same straight line speed. It's a drag race into turn 1, but we get DRS down into turn 1 and we make the pass on our teammates Michael Schumacher, and we are up into P1 with 5 laps left in this race, boys. Down into lap 23. 3 laps later than that, we are still in P1. Just lapping a few more people there. I think that was Latifi or Giovinazzi again, just lapping all these kids that are too slow. But Michael Schumacher, why does it say, I don't know why it says pit in the top left. That was bizarre. But there goes Schumacher. He's caught up to us. His medium tyres have came to life, and we can't go up the inside. We were too far back to try and send one there. But look how slow he is, bro. Like, I think I've just took damage to the front wing there because he was so slow coming through turn 1 and turn 2. But yeah, like I say, our soft tyres dead. We've pushed these, like I mentioned in practice. I noticed that the wear on softs was quite high, and they're just completely dead. They fell off now. But Michael on the harder compound, which can last longer, his mediums have kicked up a gear, and came to life, which is unfortunate. And there's Sergio Perez behind us in the rear view. We can see Sergio Perez now. in the Red Bull catching up. But the gap to Michael is 7/10. Can we stay within that DRS range? We've got 3/10 leeway to try and stick with Michael. There's only 2 laps left, or 1.5 laps left in this race. Can we get a race win to end the season? It would be very nice. I mean, we got one last time out in Brazil after a fantastic drive from me, but back-to-back race wins would be a great way to end the season and think about going into season 4, especially with getting P2 in the constructor standings. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens in this race, because as we know from season 3, from season 1 and 2 as well of the My Team series on the channel, as we know from them, anything can happen here. And we come through the final turn now, and it's going to be a drag race again down into turn 1. We start the final lap of the race, lap 25. We're going to have our battery active, our DRS wing open, and down to turn 1. Up the inside we go. Michael slow over the curb in turn 2. We're going to have a bit of a gap to Michael, and we're going to be up into P1 on lap 25. Here's a replay of the onboard there, and we do push him wide. You can see I completely missed the apex of turn 1. Very schneid from me, not very sportsmanlike, but it's perfect. You know, we completely parked our car on the apex so Michael couldn't turn in. We didn't turn in ourselves till very late. That was a Max Verstappen-esque overtake, and you love to see it. You know, we absolutely love to see it. And yeah, the gap now to Michael, he's fell behind 1.2 seconds. He's not going to have DRS down the back straight here, as we've got 1 corner left, boys. Can we take it home in one piece, or do a Max Verstappen and put it in the wall? Are we going to put it in the wall? No, we're not. The car is intact. The car is intact as we head towards the checkered flag, boys, and we're going to take the checkered flag in P1.
Inshallah.
Alright, I know it's been a rough year, but let's try to stay positive. Even the greats had some poor seasons, so we'll knuckle down over the winter and come back stronger next time.
What a win that was then, boys. What a drive that was. The race pace we had in Jeddah was just completely ridiculous. It actually blew me mind how fast I was going in this race here. But great strategy to do the reverse to everyone else who started on the softs, because obviously it helped us towards the end of the race, coming out on that second stint on the faster soft tyres. But yeah, man, what a race that was. What a race to end the season. And has that secured us P3 in the drivers? We'll have to find out. We finished in P1, and it's going to be Sergio Perez in P3. Perez, he had such a good season towards the back end of the season. Perez, I don't know what it was. Completely smashed Max Verstappen. Like, Verstappen had like a 100-point lead in the drivers, and then he just took his foot off the pedal, really. And Sergio Perez started performing for Red Bull. Craziness. But has that secured us P3? Was it enough? Was it enough points? We also got the fastest lap point as well, remember. So was that enough to get us P3? Jeff got on a radio before at the end of the race and said, oh yeah, head up, it's been a tough season, but even the greats have the bad ones. And I'm like, we finished P2 in the constructors, and we finished P3 or P4 in the drivers. So what do you mean, like, even the greats have bad years? I don't know. Dan Ticktum there, DNF in the race, and it didn't actually say while I was driving, and as you can see, we checked the race director and it wasn't noted. Maybe he's just that irrelevant, Dan Ticktum, the big fat-headed unit. Maybe just that irrelevant that nobody cares to even note the fact that he's retired from the race. But at the end of the season, boys, we finished 5 points behind Sergio Perez in the driver's standings. It's devastating. If we didn't have to retire in Mexico, we would have won the race. If we didn't retire in China, we would have got 1 point. And if we didn't retire in Imola, we would have got major points as well. So, theoretically, we could have won the Drivers' Championship this year. We actually really could have if we got a good result in Imola. But yeah, it's devastating to see. Here's the final standings, as you can see on the screen. McLaren actually overtook Mercedes, which is massive, by 5 points in the final race of the season. So, Mercedes finished P4 in the constructors' standings. P4, who would have thought it? McLaren up into P3. A sign of things to come. I think next season, in season 4, McLaren are going to absolutely smash everyone out the park. But should we steal one of their drivers then? Should we take Lando? Should we take Daniel and have to make them reset? Who knows? Don't forget, Valtteri is retiring from the sport at the end of season 3. So Mercedes are going to have an open seat. Who will Mercedes get? I've got a feeling it'll be Charles Leclerc. That's just my guess. If I had to pick someone. Who knows who they'll get, boys? We'll have to wait and see in Season 4. But yeah, anyway, speaking of Season 4, I normally do the little pre-season video before the season starts, of course, where we choose our new engine supplier, choose our new teammate, and we also do, you know, a few bits and bobs, new car design, all that type stuff. So the plan was to bring that out on Friday and then start season 4 on Monday, because this video should be going out on Monday, I do believe. But yeah, we're not going to be doing that, boys. I've got exams due in for university, real life stuff that nobody cares about, but it's got in the way of my schedule, so I'm going to take a week or two off, and just let me know in the comments what teammate should we get. We're going to go through them now a little bit, but yeah, let me know in the comments who we should get for our teammates, for our engine supplier, and then we'll be back for season 4 with the pre-season video in a week or two's time. So get into the drivers market. Should we go with Lewis Hamilton, the undisputed GOAT of the sport? The GOAT, should we sign the GOAT? We signed Michael Schumacher, who was meant to be the GOAT, and he didn't win us the title. Should we sign the other GOAT, Lewis Hamilton? Like I say, Valtteri Bottas retiring from the sport. If we take Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes will have no drivers. Who would they get in their 2 seats? It would be very interesting to see. It would be very, very interesting to see just that. If we just took Lewis for the sake of seeing who Mercedes would buy. Should we go for Ayrton Senna, one of the greatest drivers of all time in the sport of Formula 1? Should we go for Max Verstappen, 2021 real-life World Drivers Champion, back-to-back World Drivers Champion in our My Team series? Should we go with Daniel Ricciardo, the Honey Badger, late breaker? Should we go with one of the Ferrari boys, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, one of my favourite drivers in real life? Do we get Sebastian Vettel, my childhood hero, the man who, when I was watching the sport as a kid, I looked up to him as the GOAT? Pierre Gasly, I mentioned it before in the race, love this guy in real life. Another guy we love in real life, Carlos Sainz. Should we get someone with sentimental value, like a Gasly, like a Sainz, or even like a Vettel? Or should we get Alonso? Should we bring El Plan to the team for season 4? Should season 4 be about El Plan? Who knows? Or should season 4 be about, can George Russell win the Drivers' Championship next season? Which is a brilliant clickbait title, with the fact George Russell is signed for Mercedes in real life. So should we do that? Who knows? Or should we go ahead and sign someone like a Jenson Button? Should we sign our current teammate's son? You know, Michael Schumacher couldn't cut it, so should Mick Schumacher be the one to get the seat to see if he can cut it? Let me know in the comments, boys, out of those options, who would you rather see in that second seat? Should we go with somebody who's proven, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, or should we go with someone with sentimental value, Alonso, Vettel? Should we go with somebody I just like, Sainz, Gasly? Do we go with the clickbait title, George Russell? Let me know in the comments, who should we sign? What engine supplier should we get? And yeah, man, I'll be back for the season 4 pre-season video. Hopefully you have enjoyed season 3. I appreciate everyone who's still watching this video and who's watched the series all the way through in season 3 and all the way from season 1. If you've been here since season 1 to the end of season 3 now, you're an absolute gangster, and you deserve all the respect in the world. But yeah, man, I'll be back for season 4 whenever I am. Turn on the notification bell after you've subscribed so you never miss an upload. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the vibes. I will catch us next time, boys. Take it easy.